Might be the greatest show we ever done, Rip.
Just last week.
We are live.
Our
guest says he's here. You see him, Rip?
Well, hell, I can't. Nothing to begin with.
Now live on YouTube, it says. It's got a. I don't see anybody in it. I don't see anybody here. I did. Oh, we got 3 people watching. Somebody comment. Somebody's doing something. No idea what's going on here today. Got this thing just playing over and over again. Get all kinds of notifications from YouTube right now, though. That's good. Our guest of the night, baby, says he's in. Not seeing him. Come on, Rip. Entertain the audience while I'm sitting there trying to figure out the tech stuff.
I got a new phone. You know, I don't know how it works.
Oh, Tank. I think I see Tank in there. Can you hear me right now, Tank?
Let's see here.
Look at that. Now he's here.
You guys hear me?
Oh, shit. He's on fire now.
Yeah, look at that guy. He's got the stuff in the background. He's got the echo chamber going on back there. Looking good. Got the guns out.
There we go.
Now he's on. He's on like an 18-second delay, Rip. So
no, I'm not.
We're gonna have to wait for 18 seconds, and then we'll go on with the conversation. It's gonna be the greatest interview.
My timing's never been right.
Look at that! Look at that little studio you got there. You got all the soundboard back there.
Do a little
great, man.
He must be like Andrew Tate and doing video stuff with girls and making millions of dollars.
30 seconds here now. Hold on.
I didn't say anything, Dad.
Just giving you a warning.
You gotta make money where you can.
Are you a professional podcaster? Do you do a lot of stuff in the studio? What do you got going on with that thing, man?
Just working on some voiceover stuff. Voiceover, little projects, stuff like that. Yeah. So just
you have a good voice,
man. It's golden. No, it's fine. It's whatever.
Okay.
It's like wrestling. It's like, there's a million different body types. There's a million different styles, and it's just sometimes it depends on what someone's looking for. As far as
Tank must not watch the show, Rip. He doesn't know we don't talk about wrestling on this show.
Oh, I'll talk about anything. Shit.
I'm just kidding, man.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
We're basically porn.
I love it.
This is OnlyFans. Sorry.
OnlyFans. I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Sorry, we didn't.
Hold on, I didn't wear the right outfit. Let me go get my ball gag.
Speaking of outfit, if Rip could sit up, let me take these.
I am sitting up.
Name things off here, so maybe we could actually maybe see. Can you sit up just a little bit?
I can't sit up any goddamn straighter. What the hell you want me to do?
If you could just so we can see your shirt. We're trying to advertise.
Well, I'm sitting up.
If you move your there you go. Now look at that. You can see almost
I need one of those. Where do I buy it?
ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm glad you asked that. ProWrestlingTees.com, baby.
All right.
Brand new.
Very cool.
Hot off the press.
This is the greatest shirt I got tonight. So far.
So our guest tonight, baby, Tank Toland. Tank Toland made it on live on YouTube, live with Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Tank Toland, WWE superstar, ROH superstar, OVW superstar, you name it. He's done it. He's been there. He's over all around the world. Tank Toland.
Okay,
he's got a Just Only fans gimmick too. So
now he does.
I want to subscribe and watch the Tanker in action. Hell yeah!
It's more like a no fans, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's ours. That's our channel.
Okay,
you gotta leave that to us. Yeah. So what's been up, man?
Nothing, man. Just living the life of a dad, and running my own little company and stuff like that. I do custom apparel and just doing the wrestling scene every now and then here and there, just to keep that entertainment bug at bay. Still enjoying doing that when I can. But yeah, just other than that, just living life.
That's why
down here in Jersey.
Jersey, huh? So I got to ask you this. Somebody just made a comment. I posted it. Somebody's like, "Who's that?" But they were from Jersey, so I didn't know if they were really a fan of yours, just ribbing. And of course, I had to go back at him. And I said,
"Oh wait,
Chuck LaBar."
Chuck LaBar. I knew that was coming.
Do you know him?
Yeah, Chuck. I got something for you. No, I'm just kidding. No, Chuck's one of my old working buddies from the Beach Patrol. Yeah. He's when I lifeguard from the time I was 15. I stopped while I was wrestling, obviously, but and then after I got done wrestling full time, I went back to the beach patrol and finished up my years there to get my pension and just enjoy getting back on the beach. Doing that David Hasselhoff Baywatch stuff.
Man, that's awesome. Man.
So you just hang around looking good with the big guns and flirting with the chicks. That's a hell of a life.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Now, do you have a section of the beach where it's like for mature males only, and you get to hang out there, and you still got all your equipment with you, looking good and jacked around, but you don't want anybody, you don't want to flirt with anybody?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a couple spots, but that's mainly, there's a couple spots for that. Yeah. A lot of some of those guys go up to like Fire Island, New York area and stuff like that. So yeah.
Ooh, Fire Island. I can feel it, baby. Ooh.
Rip, were you ever a lifeguard?
A lifeguard?
Yeah.
I was taking swim lessons, I remember, at Shields Pool there for years. And I think I got up to swimmers, and I had to stay alive in the 10-foot for 5 minutes, and I just kept failing, but they finally gave it to me anyway.
So you died.
I did not. I was just a fat kid trying to tread water and going down, coming up, and practice and that, and I wasn't very good. So anyway.
That's cool.
I didn't make it.
Yeah, so that was the guy though, Tank. So I looked him up first before I was too mean. I looked at his profile, saw he was probably from your area. So I just said I'm sure a lot of people are lining up to get Chucky LaBar on an interview. So
no, Chuck's a good guy. He
give me a little smiley face back. So
it's like anything else, It's just like the boys on that you work with, in the ring. It's just like you bust each other's chops whenever you get a chance. So and I expect nothing less. He was actually the pastor at my wedding. So he married. Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's very holy. He's very holy. So yeah.
Glad I was nice, really.
Now
no.
So is he a preacher or just a guy that marries people? Or what was his gimmick?
Oh no, he loves to preach. He'll preach to anyone he can. Chuck, I know you're listening right now. But no,
he ain't no Catholic priest or anything.
Oh no. Actually, it's funny story. It was a rain day on the beach, and when we're up at headquarters because we worked we're officers, so we were just sitting at headquarters while it was raining, and we're like, hey, let's get our license online to be ministers and reverends, pastors, whatever. So we went on to the Universal Church website, and we just filled out a little application. Next thing you know, and he's a pastor, I'm a reverend or vice versa, whatever you want to call us. So yeah, we both have our license. So he married me and my wife, and then I actually have married a few of my friends as well. So
wow.
Can you divorce him too?
I unfortunately I can't, because that would be a whole lot more money.
I was gonna say that's extra money you make it though.
Yeah. Make it where you can, right? Shoot.
So are you currently still married?
I am currently still married.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yep.
Well, that's one of them questions you hate to ask. We had 38 days of bliss, and then the bitch opened her mouth. I punched her out.
My first one was only 8 months. So what the hell?
No, hey, look, no, she puts up with me, and anyone that can put up with me is, she's doing all right. So.
Oh God, she's smiling. She's I got him, don't I?
No, she's listening right now, I'm sure.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You got to put her over. I know.
Well, we're on. We just went over a year on this show, and I don't think my wife has listened to 5 seconds of anything we've ever done. So.
Well, I wouldn't want to listen to us either. God.
She said she almost listened last week for our 1-year anniversary when I was up here getting hammered during the Chris Cage interview.
My boy.
But she didn't get on there. So yeah, Cage was on, man. He was doing good. He hadn't changed much.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, he's I know he's cut his hair, and he's doing his some of that positive talk on the like his positive podcast type stuff, or I think I'm not sure if he's still doing that or not, but
yeah, he is. He didn't fit too well in this show.
Yeah, he was Mr. fucking positive, and we're like Mr. and Mrs. Negatory, So he was sort of like shaking his head like the king.
Hey, look, I could roll both ways, just depending on the moment. So it's just,
Oh my boy, I can roll both ways too. Just pay me, bitch.
It's all about the money, right?
It's all about the money. You can rent me, checks,
you-
checks, as long as the check don't bounce.
right.
When you're sitting here and you're big media stars like we are, and we have guys watching us live like Frankie the Pickleberry and Big Al Robinson, the Buckshot Kid, Frankie Pickle Barrel,
Don Burton's on
Don
here
Burton's, all the guys. You say Big Al, Buckshot, and they got all the green stuff because
Did
that
you
means
say
you're
big? Did you say Big Pal?
no.
Well, his name's
Oh, okay.
Al Robinson. We just call him
No,
Big Al.
I used to know a wrestler named Big Pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you saw somebody come on here named Al Robinson, to me it just screams
Big Al.
Like,
yeah,
No,
it's like Big Al Bundy, right?
So we just call him Big Al.
100 That's If you're an Al, I think you automatically have to have that big attached to it.
Yeah, it'd be like it might be the reference to he might have a small phallus with not much length or width, but we call him Big Al as a rib, so you just don't ever know. It's like calling the fat guy tiny.
Sure, of course.
Or whatever.
Yeah, slim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
you're triggering now because people would call me slim when I was growing up with my 36-inch waist and my 32-inch chest and pretty much nil penis, which I didn't want to go to the boys' club. I have to take my underwear off, so I don't.
Oh man,
hiding that little worm.
I gotta say, I was so excited to do this podcast just because I would be, talking to Rip and you just never know what's gonna rip out of his mouth. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's very true here. So we were talking about Chris Cage. He was a teacher. He taught with Hector Guerrero for a while. Now you went to teaching after wrestling, right? You were teaching for a while.
Yeah, I have my degree in teaching. Actually, I was teaching. Before I started wrestling with the WWE, I actually, stopped wrestling. Stopped teaching to come out to Louisville. So I gave that up to pursue the dream, and was lucky enough to, get signed and, put that aside for a while. And then once I was done, I went back to the teaching gig and started being a phys ed teacher and lifeguard in the summer.
Back to the old roots then, huh?
It didn't get any better than that. What the hell?
Yeah, we'll get in. We're going to get into that. If you guys got any questions in the chat, so typically what we do, we'll take some super chats if you're in there. If you're green, if you're a member, if you're a hustler or the original, you can get a question in here for Tank Toland as well. I always call you Tank. That's what I'm used to calling you. I know that wasn't your, your WWE name or whatever, but
you know what? If someone called me James Dick or James, I wouldn't probably turn around anyway. I don't even turn around when people call me John. So it's Tank's what I'm used to.
I called Cage the whole time. I never called him. I didn't even. I had to look at his name.
Kalen Croft.
So
it
is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's get back. So you said you were lifeguard and you were teaching all that kind of stuff. Did you ever go to a school before you got a job? Like, what got you into wrestling in the beginning? Like, were you training somewhere early, or was it something you got a job at, like teaching and things? Then you're like, man, I think I'm going to try this wrestling thing out. Because I know in my experience, Rip kind of made me go through the college career and the teaching career and all that before he kind of let me in the business, so to speak, a little bit. What was your path?
I was a big fan of wrestling from time being a little kid, like a lot of us who got into the business. Grew up with the guys from the 70s and 80s. And then of course, and it stayed with me through college, and I was just watching. I got a group of friends in college who loved watching it, and by then it was like the Attitude Era and the the WCW, WWF wars and stuff like that, and we were just watching it nonstop, and I was like, what, jeez, I'd love to do this. So the more I thought about it, even though I was going after my teaching degree, I said, shit, maybe I could find a place that can train me. And after I get out of college, I'll just do it as a hobby, just at least to kind of fulfill that little bit of passion, maybe be a weekend warrior. So I was looking up schools, and just lucky enough to have the Monster Factory only 20 minutes away from me. Pretty boy Larry Sharp's Monster Factory, and just got an apartment, got a teaching job, and signed up for wrestling classes.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, obviously, I had to go for a tryout, but Larry Sharp was going to take anyone's money who walked through the door, because, it's money, and that's how he was. So I went in there, I tried out, and he said, kid, I think you got something. I think you got what it takes, which I'm sure he said to everybody else.
Give me your money. You got what it
Yeah,
takes.
yeah, yeah. You got what it takes. You got that bank account. So, I paid him. I think it was like $200 a week until I paid. I think it was like $3,000. And I remember the first payment I made was like in October, and then I think the last payment I made was on March 16th. So
Oh,
that
wow.
was it, and then so during that time I was training. I'd go to train 3 or 4 times a week whenever school was open, and he threw me on some shows, and then just doing little things like security guard stuff, and then you worked your way up, and then I remember the first actual match I had. I beat Cliff Compton.
All
Um,
right.
All right.
yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
for you,
So
man.
he
We
was.
didn't. We
It
don't
was
even
funny.
like
Yeah.
Cliff Compton here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cliff and I were there at the same time. Cliff and I were there at the same time, and then guys like the Headbangers would come back because they came from there. A few other of the guys came back, and then there was a guy who was actually training there named Ed Seeley, also known as Ed the Razor. He was up from like Canada, but he was an old school type guy, and he would make us do some ridiculous stuff like spine buster practice or like backdrop practice. It was like some really crazy stuff. But he also taught us the basics as well. But it was cool. It was cool. First match I got to wrestle for the title against Compton, and we had some good times because Larry Sharp always wanted us to go to each town and promote the town like the night or two before, and we go to the local bars and we pretend to get in a fight and stuff like that and yell at each other, and then you know how it is, like you would he wanted everything to be shoot, like make it look like it was shoot. So and then the bouncers would be in on it, the owner would be in on it, and we'd have a fake fight, and then next thing well, okay, I'll see you Saturday night at so and so's VFW hall, like that. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. So
Man, you just answered like 10 of my next questions. So
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good, dude. That's perfect.
Hey, I remember running into Larry Sharp when I was working for Memphis, I think,
Mhm.
and he brought Bam Bam Bigelow in.
Yeah.
And Larry come down and was his manager. And I knew Larry from because me and Bundy used to ride together a lot when I was working for Bill Watts in '83, and he would always tell me Larry stories.
Oh.
Big fat Bundy, big Chris Palais.
Yeah, Larry had a lot of stories too, though. He was always, because his dad, I think his dad's name was Augie or something. He had to do something with the wrestling business too, because the ring that they used for the Bundy versus Hogan WrestleMania match was their ring, the steel cage one. That was his father's ring. So apparently, and I guess they did their rings were used for the Spectrum shows, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, going to the Monster Factory is good because it got my feet wet. It wasn't that backyard bullshit that you see. And they did a lot of the basic technical stuff, like the chain wrestling and trying to learn how to work, do promos and things like that. But it was very basic, but it was good. It was a great place to get your feet wet. I always really kind of say that I never really got a full education until I got to OVW with obviously Rip and the guys who've trained me there. So but yeah, that's where I really I think started to develop as a worker. Yeah.
So besides Cliff Compton, which beating Cliff Compton, that's not much, because me and the custodian at Muncie Central beat Cliff Compton, Rip. So,
Well,
I wouldn't come on here saying putting myself.
Well,
over
you was undefeated in Muncie. That's not fair. You ended my career there. You beat John Cena.
Guess what? I got a surprise clip tonight on this live show with Tank Toland. I got a surprise clip that I'm going to bust out from Muncie, Indiana here in a little bit.
Holy
too.
shit! Holy moly!
Nice.
Bringing it all out tonight. Who else? Was anybody else there that we might know besides Cliff at the time? Besides like the Headbangers and some of those guys coming back, was there anybody just getting started, like with you?
Well, Cliff. It's funny because Cliff was driving down from New York every weekend and staying at my apartment. I had a couple my boys, another guy, Adonis, who was coming down, and like 4 guys would come down, stay at my apartment every weekend. We go work, wrestle, and then go out at night and party, go to restaurants, and then go out to the clubs and stuff like that, and have a good time. But Cliff was it took me a couple years to talk him into coming out to OVW.
Oh, yeah.
Finally he did it, which was great. But the other guy who was coming in, actually taking his first bumps in the ring, basically, was Sheamus.
Really?
Sheamus,
Oh, yeah.
Sheamus came in. He was coming from Ireland, and started at Pretty Boy Larry Sharp's Monster Factory. And I saw him. Yeah, I saw him taking his first bumps, and then I think he had to go back to Ireland for a little bit. I'm not sure if it was a visa thing or what. And they eventually made his way back, and we know where he went from there. So, but yeah, he was there too. So yeah.
So then going to OVW, you went to OVW from there. I remember speaking to those tryouts where you make the tryout or whatever. I remember I was in OVW because I was teaching at the same time too. So I would basically come down in the in the summer times and things like that. But I remember they had a couple tryouts, and I remember a bunch of guys, you included, came through one of those tryouts, right, for OVW?
Yeah, it was actually the first one they did, the first big one that they did. And I remember I think there was like a ton of submissions, and I'd sent my submission in, and it was like, I don't know, like a week or two before the camp, and I never heard anything. And I said, hey, I called up, and I actually ended up talking to, I think it was Julie I ended up talking to. And I said, hey, I just want to see if you guys got my submission. She's like, let me check on that. She goes, we never received it. I said, oh my God, I sent it, right away. And she's like, well, I'll tell you what, send it over to me, and I'll make sure, we put it in to see. And luckily I was one of the people that ended up being chosen. And, from there it was, I think my client, it was like a week-long thing. And, Dr. Tom was there, and you guys were all, all there. And I think, who was, Rocky Johnson was there.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I remember walking in. I remember what a character, man. I remember walking in, and it was so funny because I remember I felt like I was doing okay, hanging with everybody, and with the drills and stuff. I felt like I was holding my own. And I remember Rocky Johnson called me back to the back office area, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to you, man. I really like what you're doing out there. I think you really got something special, kid. I really do. Just a question. You know where I can get any Anivor?
Yeah. Oh, that was Rocky. I love it. God damn. Hell yeah.
And I'm still like, I'm still green as goose shit in general. And also I'm just trying to make it up to OVW to try to work on getting a WWE contract, hopefully. And I'm thinking to myself, is this some kind of fucking test right now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Am I being like, what do I say? Do I say, yeah, I can get some for you? Or do I say I don't take anything? Because that was bullshit, obviously. And I was like, hey man, I can look into it for you. I didn't know what to say, but yeah, he's like, yeah, you take a look in that, man. I think you got good things ahead for you. I think you
And
got.
then you know where to get. That's awesome. It's like the Sean O'Hare story I just told last week. Sean O'Hare, the first time I was in the back in the locker room, he comes up and he goes, hey, you want to see a picture of me fucking my girlfriend? I was like, how do I answer this question?
Yeah. Yeah, he probably did want to show you.
Well, I didn't want to say yes, and then
right. Why
the
you
wrong
won't look at
answer.
that? Like, yeah, exactly. It's one of those, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Which is, in the business, you could find yourself in a lot of that. You're fucked either way, no matter how you answer it, because they're looking to rib you one way or another.
That's awesome.
But that's just the way it is. But that was rock. Yeah, that was my little Rocky story, and it was cool.
That was Rip at that camp. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was.
Surely you'd remember if Rip was there. Did you do those camps?
He
Or
was.
Did you just train them when they were done with him?
I don't.
Well, Dr. Tom was the main guy running at that time. And then, for that, but obviously Rip was the main, coach, doing for the classes, the contract classes and stuff. But yeah, it was Dr. Tom.
Yeah. Every day when I taught, I had to, I had to send a fax to Dr. Tom what we did in class that day.
You had like lesson plans and shit?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. That was like, So that was like legit. Like, all right, he had you really like showing you. All right, you're
No,
not fucking
it
around.
was like your structured football practice, right?
Yeah, wow.
And then everything was broken down, this and that, whatever, blah, blah,
We had
blah.
Tom on here. He didn't really tell you what to do, right? You just told him what you did. It was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Well,
never,
I mean,
yeah, they never really told me what to do. I just knew if I finally figured out if they'd say, "Oh, train this guy as a heel," then they would bring you up as a baby face, and vice versa. So then I started having you work everywhere. But I said, "No, they're going to fuck you. They're going to fuck you in the way you look at it, just so you're not very good, so your confidence is hurt, so you'll be too scared to do anything and make any waves."
I'll tell you what, son of a bitch, ain't that true though? Because like, I mean, when I was in OVW, I felt, by the time I got called up to the main roster, I mean, I was very confident about my ability and who I was as a worker, and I felt comfortable working both ways. But man, they try to shake you when you go up there. I mean,
Right.
for sure. I mean, I don't know if it's just to fuck with you or if the older guys, they were scared of new people coming up and maybe rocking the boat and taking their TV spot or their segment or whatever the case may be. But it was a very odd time when I was up there compared to how things are now, I think. Which
I would say it's changed.
Yeah.
We get into that a little bit, but
Yeah. But it was awesome. I mean, I was there at that training camp thinking like, wow, I can't believe I'm here with learning all this amazing stuff. And I remember who was there?
that's
in
what I
that
was going to
training
ask.
camp?
Who came in that camp?
Mondo.
Was that the one with like Prophet and those guys, or who was in? Was that
Prophet was there.
Vic
Prophet
Delicious?
actually, yeah, Prophet. No, Vic Delicious was this. Oh wait, maybe he was at that one. Vic Delicious was at that one from. Yeah, because I remember because Ripaul always used to call him Utica because he was from Utica.
Utica, yeah, from Utica, New York, yeah, Utica.
Yeah, Utica, yeah, Utica, yeah. But yeah, it was Prophet.
How about
Actually,
Mondo?
Mondo was there. Jillian was there. The Beast was there. Elijah Burke was there. There's a few. There's a good handful of people that were there. It's Steve Lewington was there for the first time.
Oh wow,
yeah, this was before he blew up all natural.
Yeah, I called him Gabby because he never said a word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Steve.
was.
Yeah, Gabby because he never said anything.
Yeah.
All the top stars were there.
All
man.
the top stars,
All the top
baby.
stars were at that camp, man.
Yeah, but there was a good handful of people there. I mean, I think they had like 50 people at that tryout. And then I think out of those 50, I think they brought like 10 to 12 of us to train full time. And it was, I mean, I was just psyched to be able to have that opportunity. It was freaking phenomenal.
So what was that transition like going from Monster Factory to OVW? Was it very similar? Any first impressions of Rip, meeting Rip? Do you remember? I mean, was Rip your main trainer at the time?
Yeah, I mean, because basically at that time it was like if you were invited to train from that training camp, you didn't have to do the beginners class.
Yeah.
You were able to work with the guys in the contract class, and obviously, hopefully you work your way to a contract.
In me.
Yeah. So we're lucky. So
yeah. What the fuck?
So coming from the Monster Factory and coming from Jersey, I'd never been to Louisville, and I remember I drove in when I came into Louisville. I pulled into a gas station and I walked through the door and some guy's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I look behind me like he must be talking to his good buddy there.
Yeah.
And I looked and I was the only one in the store. And being from Jersey, Northeast is a lot of attitude and a lot of like I'm not sure about people. So like I turned around and it's almost like a De Niro, like you talking to me? Like that kind of thing. Like, but then I just realized so many people from Kentucky and the South are so nice compared to the fucking asshole part of the country that I live in. So but I mean it was cool and starting to train there with everybody. It was it really felt like a family. It really did. Like when you got to know everybody, it was really just a good time. And when I saw Rip, I was like, obviously I was like, this guy knows pretty much everything and he's awesome. But at the same time, I was like, he's a crazy motherfucker. I could tell he's definitely a crazy motherfucker. But yeah. But he was also smart about it. He's always trying to say, hey, look, you want to work smart, not harder. And he goes, you want to try and save it. I remember hearing about like, your bump card. and stuff like that. And like, that's the first time I ever heard about, save yourself, take as little bumps as you have to, because you only get so many. He's like, you'll end up like me, fucked up, and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
he
blah.
wasn't having a spine buster practice like you said.
No, and it made me think of that, like, and because I remember that shit, and I was like, damn, why would we even as green as I was? I mean, it was probably a fucking rib, because the guy's like, I'm just gonna fucking beat these guys up today, but I was like, damn, man, I was like, you should be trying to teach your guys and protect them, not fuck them up, But yeah, so that's it. But yeah,
I remember. I think it was Ryback came back, maybe in between his first and second time or whatever. He came back. And he came to your class once. I'm sure it was Ryback.
Uh-huh.
And then we did. It was like the heat drill or whatever. And he just like power bombed a dude, choke slammed a dude, did all this stuff. Rip was like, ding, ding, ding. What the fuck are you doing? This is practice. We don't do power bombs in practice.
Yeah. This is a walkthrough like on a Thursday night. You're getting ready for your high school football game.
I used to love the ding ding dings. Just stop shit right square in the middle of something. That was always fun.
I mean, we might as well ask you right now. I ask everybody else that went through his class. Did you ever get did you ever get kicked out? Get the fuck out of the ring. Did you ever get that?
No, I never.
Oh, come on.
I never did, and I was always terrified of that happening to me. I was always terrified. I never got to get the fuck out. I never got that. I never got that. But
I don't. I mean, he must have not done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did, but I don't know. Maybe I was too short. Maybe you saw right over me and you didn't see.
No, a lot of guys, I wouldn't ding them because I wasn't sure about their confidence factor.
Yeah, well,
I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's like if I ding the prophet, his fucking jaw would drop and he'd drop his shoulders. I said, oh, I just destroyed him.
Yeah.
So I'd get somebody. A lot of times I'd give a guy Iggy. I said, I'm going to fucking ding you in a minute. You know what I mean? And then somebody could take it. They know it's all the fucking ribs. So I'm yelling, screaming at them or whatever. And everybody's hearing the lesson. They're going, oh my God. And he's fucking laughing with the fucking rib,
I got dinged 3 times in one practice, and I never got the Iggy.
You wouldn't know what the Iggy was anyway. You wasn't ready for the Iggy
yet. You probably saw my height and felt bad for me, so you just gave me a free pass sometimes. But
well, they had some giants in there.
Oh, there were. Holy shit!
And here you are, average height. Built like a fucking Sherman tank.
Like a tank.
But they want fucking guys that are bigger than fucking life, right? And I said, fuck, this guy's got the fucking tools. We just need some goddamn Chris Jericho elevator boots,
No shit. That always pissed me off. I was like, I'm not someone that really has a Napoleon complex. But that was always the thing I thought, I felt like I had ability. I was just like, damn. I was like, I know I'm gonna get dinged on my height. It's no matter what. I was like, somehow I'm gonna get dinged. But I was like, well, fuck. If Rey Mysterio can get in there and do it, but he's a fucking amazing luchador. But you try and keep yourself psyched up that it doesn't matter. Like you can still make it. But you know what Vince likes? He likes his fucking big monsters. And that's the way it was. And it's not like today. Like you see fuckers today. They look like they're the fucking janitors from the fucking. From the fucking middle school down the block, and we're fucking they should be in the concession stand, but they're fucking doing like semi-main events or main events, and you're like, holy shit. It's like, and some of them they can work, but some of them can't work worth a fucking lick. I feel they're just fucking doing spot after spot after spot.
Never met G-Force, Rip.
Yeah.
When you walk in looking like a fucking champion, I've already know. No matter what it is to do, you will do the work because you're not afraid to eat right, to fucking train, to do your weight. Now you're just adding in your reps in fucking practice.
Yeah.
That you will make it. I can get you to try and push you to the next level, but it's not. I never recommended anybody because I was told don't recommend anybody. We know what we're looking for, and it's not our job to fucking tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so all I could do was try and make you the best you could be and to work with different guys because some guys are snug. Some guys don't touch you. Some guys are half killing you. Some guys you think you're in a goddamn real fight.
Oh fuck! When I was in there with Nathan Jones, I thought I was in a fucking real fight. Jesus
that guy
Christ!
scared me to death.
Holy
Dude.
shit! Him and fucking Heidenreich, and I both guys, nothing personal. I mean, like I have nothing against them, but man, fuck! Like I remember, freaking when I was working with Heidenreich and fucking he was doing this thing with Animal, and they're doing their finisher move on me, where I'm on top of Animal's shoulders, and Heidenreich comes off the top rope with the clothesline, and I do a backflip off, and fucking one night, boom, he hits me, fucking, I get a stinger, right? You guys know what a stinger is, right? I get a stinger, my arm's on fire, I'm like, fuck, he pins me for the 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, holy shit, and we're gonna do the same thing the next night in another town. And I was like, hey, buddy, I was like, all you gotta do is make it look like it. I'll do a nice backflip. I'll make it look even better than if you hit me for real. And he's like, no problem, no problem. And I know he didn't mean to do it as an asshole move because we got along. But the next night, sure enough, he hit me. I got a second stinger. Same thing, stinger. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, damn, man, this guy thinks it's fucking real. But that was that. Nathan Jones, same thing. I remember he fucking clobbered me from behind real hard. A couple times. Now I started fucking hitting back pretty good myself. I was like, well, if you're gonna work hard, I'm gonna work hard myself there. I'm gonna stiffen this shit up too. So
were you in class with Nathan? Was he in your
Yeah, he was there when I was there for a bit. It was when he was getting ready to do his thing with the Undertaker and all that stuff. And,
I was in there for a little while too. I hit every time. Yeah. Every time
hell, I was hiding afraid it might make me get in there.
Put Nathan Jones in the ring. I was always
But at the same time, I'd go in there with Matt Morgan, and I had a few matches with Matt, and it was great. Yeah. It was great. I had some really fun matches with Matt. But yeah, I mean, it was a crazy time. I mean, when I first got there, I remember I was there for the week, and like right off the bat, I think the first time they put me in, I got there Derby weekend, and that Wednesday we did our show, and they put me right away in the first opening dark match against the Prophet just to see how I do. And I mean, I guess I did well enough because the very next week I had my first TV match against Doug Basham for the title. And I mean, it was obviously, part of his whole, he was being a heel at the time, and they said, okay, well, I guess they're, give me a little bit of a rub, but still at the same time he's working another angle. But I was the person to get beat by him. But he was very generous and gave me a lot in the match and didn't have to, obviously. But he made me look good, and it was great. And then the next week I was in there when Randy Orton was coming back from an injury, and I worked my next match against Randy. And so the first few matches I had were nice matches. I got really good opportunity to get in there and work with some good guys. And then that's when Nova got hurt. He hurt his knee, and he was with Cage at the time with Adrenaline. And Nova was from Jersey, and I used to work for his brother Donnie B, who was a promoter in Toms River area of Jersey. And so Cornette was like, hey, well, you got that Jersey connection. Let's put Tank in there. We'll put Tank with Cage, and we'll do a storyline that, he's, you want him to take over for you while he's healing. And then that's I think our next match, we freaking wrestled Cade and whoever he was with.
Renee, maybe at that time.
I forget who it was, but it was at the Six Flags, and we wrestled them for the title, and we won the title. So I was only there for like a month, and I they were confident enough, I guess, to give me a shot at carrying the Southern Tag Team titles, which was great. So, and then had an awesome time being a tag partner with Chris. It was a good time.
Because Rip never kicked you out of the ring, so they gave you the title.
Yeah, well, shit. I guess I wasn't fucking up too much, but
let's check this chat real quick. If you're in the chat, if you're green, if you're a member, you can ask a question. If not, hit the super chat. All you got to do is go down at the bottom of the comments, click that little thing, do the super chat, ask Tank Toland a question here.
Yeah, don't be cheap fuckers.
That's right. We got a bunch of cheap fuckers in here. Somebody asked, was Russo writing the Dix stuff? Did you have a specific writer when you went to the WWE, or was it?
No, it's funny because when we first went up there, it was actually they brought us up, and they're originally going to put us with Simon Dean, Nova, when Nova was just starting his gimmick as Simon Dean, and they were going to make us his henchmen. And then which ended up becoming, I guess, the Gemini twins, Mike and Shane, but we were up there, and they were going to do that, but they said, hey, let's let's have you guys first, like, come in from the crowd and just, take people out. And we were taking tag teams out at the end of a match. We'd just come in, and whoever won, we'd come in and destroy them, like the Mexicools or whoever was in there. And so we did that for a couple weeks. And then I remember one of the weeks, we were running out from the crowd, and I had on my BizCast stuff, but I had my black slacks on, like a black tank top, and ran in, laid people out, and then I ripped my tank top off and just threw it, and just being psyched up and pumped, and then went to the back, and Vince was like, I really like the way you ripped off the shirt and you threw it on the ground, and you had the black slacks on. You really look like something. You look like a Chippendale. Next week I want you to come back, and I want you guys to come back with Chippendale outfits. I want to see how you'd look. I got an idea. I think I want to make you guys Chippendales. And that was that. So
it was your fault.
So yeah, it's like, I think about that sometimes. Like, if I just didn't fucking rip my shirt off, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so sure enough, we went to our seamstress. We said, hey, we need these real quick. She made us some Chippendale outfits with the tearaway pants and the tearaway cufflinks and tie and shit, suspenders, blah blah blah. And next thing you know, we show him. He's like, I love it. And so that's how the dicks came to be. And but we weren't going to be the dicks. We were actually Stephanie was like, hey, why don't you guys think of some cool wrestling names for you guys self, something that's like, sexy wrestling, type stuff. And I was trying to think, I was like, well, who do I want to be if I'm going to be this type of character? And I was thinking, along the lines of like a Ravishing Rick Rude, Val Venus type of mix type of thing, and I was just like, we were trying to think of some names. By this time it's Chad Wicks, who is now my tag partner. So I thought, hey, how about I was like, hey, how about how about the weapons of mass seduction, and Stephanie's like, I love it. So she's like, I thought it was cool because it's like, weapons of mass seduction. It's kind of like a little bit of, play on words, and she's like, I love it. And then out of the corner of my ear, I hear, why don't we call him the Swinging Richards? And it was and that was fucking, what's his face, Bad Street, fucking shit.
Michael Hayes.
Yeah. I don't know why it slipped off my mind. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, we should call him the Swinging Richards. You know what? I'm gonna go tell Vince that right now.
Oh, geez.
So I'm like, I look at Stephanie. She's like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. So next thing you know, it's like I think it's like 10 minutes before we're going on for our spot, and she goes, okay, so we tried to go over things. He wanted to call you Swinging Richards, but that was too close to Stevie Richards. Then we were going to call you the Swinging Dicks, but that was a little too on the nose. So you guys are just going to be the Dicks. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be the Dicks. All right. And she's like, yeah, you're going to be James Dick, and he's going to be Chad Dick. And I'm like, I was like, can we spell that D-I-X? And she goes, no. She's like, no. I was like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't I be fucking Tank Dick? Fucking Tank Dick?
Yeah, that'd be
That's
good.
Fucking Tank Dick. That's.
Did you throw that out there for him?
At this point, I was so fucking shell shocked. It was just one of those confidence things that just fucking shot me in the dick. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah. But yeah. So it's like, and then like, and so I'm thinking, like, son of a bitch, here I am. I'm like, I'm on SmackDown. They're trying to be family friendly at this point, right? And it's not network television. It's not like cable television like Raw. It's SmackDown. And I'm thinking, fuck, man, I don't know about this. I don't know how this is gonna go. But we went out there. We're the Dicks, and of course, the boys in the back were getting a kick out of it. But in the meanwhile, I'm thinking, fuck, how long is this going to last for? Because this is the same time they're fucking, like a lot of times they just throw shit against the wall so it'll stick. And and this is when they gave fucking Paul Burchill the fucking pirate gimmick.
Oh yeah.
They gave fucking Matt Morgan a stutter.
Yeah.
They gave fucking Jillian Hall a big fucking mole in her face. And it was like they're doing a bunch of goofy shit. And it's whatever, but and then you hear things like JR saying, "Oh, that's got a limited shelf life," that kind of shit, and you're like, "Fuck, man, this is it was definitely a confidence killer." But at the same time, like, hey, I got to roll with what I got because sometimes shit, you start as one thing, maybe 1 minute you're the dentist, but the next thing you know, you're a fucking cane.
Yeah.
So you never know. So
And it was Vince. It's hard to like if Vince is the one that comes back and says, "Hey, you look like a Chippendale." Come back with his outfit. It's kind of hard to.
Usually, if Vince suggests something, he's going to push the shit out of it because it's his idea.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go back. So when you guys were, it was you and Chad though, right? When you were jumping in at the end, like beating people up.
Yeah. Chad was
Okay,
was
so
there. He was there.
did they have any name for you that time or any direction? They just said, "Hey, start doing this, and then we'll figure out your name and your gimmick later." Is that?
Yeah, no. At the time, it was supposed to still be that we were going to be Simon Dean's henchmen.
Oh, still going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were running in, and even one time, Taz was doing the announcing at the time, and we ran in, and he goes, "I know who that is. That's the Tolands." He even said we were the Tolands because we were the Blonde Bombers. We were the Tolands in OVW, and I guess someone said that he could, say that. I guess he got it from Vince or whoever, saying it was, that's the Tolands. But then the next thing you know, you never heard that again. So it was on one broadcast when he said, that's the Tolands.
Just another gimmick in OVW that never ever would make it to WWE.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Hey, look, I thank God every day that I even had the opportunity to pursue something that I had dreamed about some time as a little fucking squirt, and until the time it became an older squirt because I was never got big, but as far as it goes, man, I mean, so many people out there that have a hell of a lot more talent than I ever had, never made it. So, I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of just, being thankful for, the opportunity that you did get, no matter what.
You made it. Like you made it. I mean, nobody can ever take that away. Rip tells people that all the time on here. Like you made it to the highest level. You can only do so much. I mean, you took the gimmick, ran with it, whatever. I mean, shit, you're in the WWE, man.
Yeah, no, it was like, I mean, I'm not gonna, I wish I could have, maybe had, different opportunities, maybe different, partners, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
You keep kind of going back to Chad there. I mean, you can talk about Chad if you want to.
No, you know what?
We're just.
It is what it is. I mean, Chad, Chad's not Chad knows how I feel about it. He's I'm not, hey, I got nothing against the guy personally. I mean, at the time I was salty about shit because I didn't like the way he presented himself. He got a lot of heat with the boys, which when you're in a tag team, sometimes you live or die by that. And that didn't always help my situation. Like when we went up there, we were both getting ribbed in the beginning when we first went up there. We were both getting ribbed. I mean, according to what I understand from him is he before he even got up there, he had heat with JBL, which, that's, you don't want to have heat with JBL because he's going to fuck with you even if you didn't have heat with him. So, I mean, so he had some heat and, and he did a few things that were drawing the spotlight to him and it didn't help the situation. So, hey, it is what it is, but he didn't take the ribbon well. I kind of just blew it off. I played it off. I didn't really give a shit because I knew that's just part of the deal. When you're up there, you're going to get fucking ribbed. I came back from one of my matches. I didn't see my bag. And it was, I heard the shower running. My whole gear bag was in the shower, just sitting there with the water running in it. And I was like, okay, I zipped it up with the water in it, came back, watched the rest of the show. And then when we went back to the bus, this was one of the tours, I wheeled my bag with the water in it and just wheeled it all out and put in the bus. And that was it. And I pretended like it never happened. Next night I came back, my bag was there, but my clothes weren't. I was looking around for my clothes, and then I look up high on the wall, and they were glued to the wall. So I was like, okay. I didn't say a word. I took them down, I put them on, and I sat down and watched the rest of the show. And I fucking pretended like when I got up to go get a drink or something, I carried the back of the chair with me, like I stuck to it, just fucking around. The guys actually laughed at that. And I remember the next day, Chris Benoit pulled me aside and he said, hey, we don't want to fuck with you anymore. We could tell you could take it. You seem like a okay guy. We're not going to fuck with you anymore. He goes, but talk to your partner because he's complaining about everything, and the boys are not liking that. He's catching more heat for it, and they're going to keep fucking with him. And so, it kept going and kept going, and and then he eventually, it got to a breaking point between him and the boys, and between me and him, and that shit happens, which led to our fight. So.
Yeah. Rip, that shit, was it that bad back then, like in WCW or even the Superstation stuff? Like, was ribbing that bad? Like, constant or just jokes?
See, now just think. Now, years ago, when they had WWF and all the territories, guys would be working 5 to 10 years before they get a shot to go into the big time.
True, yeah.
So you'd had 3,000 fucking matches, and you'd already paid your dues. Now all of a sudden, I'm taking guys. You come in from the Monster Factory, trying to bypass the next 10 years, and to give you survival skills in this very, very, very cutthroat business.
Yeah.
Trying to give you enough skill set and get me yelling at you so you learn to take ribbon and taking constructive criticism or whatever, or else you're thrown on a fucking island right there. And when you come, and everybody loves you until you start doing better than them. So here are you couple, there's the so-called vets are saying, oh, here's the green guys coming in from OVW, 2 guys, they're going to take somebody else's tag team jobs.
Yeah.
So they hate you already because there ain't no place to go.
Right. Yeah.
And then here's WWE, they're recruiting their own people, training them, whatever. And they're giving a continual face change of good guys, bad guys, keeping their nucleus of the established stars, and then rotating the underneath guys. So everybody's, you might have a 2-3 year run or whatever, and then they've seen your act.
Right.
But you've made it to the major leagues. God damn, you didn't know anybody. You worked your fucking balls off. You had to put up with my old fucking ass, and then and all of a sudden, when you got there, you say, fuck, I think I'm better than these guys. Now you got fucking confidence because these are the superstars and they're not very good. And you can see that because you guys did the fucking work of putting up with my old ass, pushing you guys hard, always just doing your best. And you had a good attitude. And that's all you can go by.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that like training in OVW, I never felt more confident, as far as being a worker, because you just pounded us and pounded us and pounded us, drilling us and working us hard, working on promos, working on doing Ironmans and just like, chain wrestling for an hour outside and inside the ring and switching, partners. And it's just like, there was 1,000,001 things that we did and we learned.
Fundamentals.
Fundamentals that by the time you got to, the WWE, you're over prepared basically. The only thing
Right.
you're not prepared for and you couldn't be prepared for was, how they're gonna, basically, I guess relate to you or how they're gonna, they're gonna end up treating you. And hey, look, I don't give a shit how they treated me because I was just there and I was just happy for the opportunity. And the way I think about it is the people that are up there now, they don't get treated the way I was treated when I was there, or how some of the guys were treated when they were there. And the guys before me were treated much worse than when I was there. So, I mean, like it's softened up.
Yeah.
Over the years, obviously, I mean, fucking back in the day, they would shoot on you for real and break your fucking arm and shit. They'd hurt you for real, whether it be because they're scared of you taking their spot or just to teach your lesson, or because I'm the vet and you're the new guy and I'm gonna stretch you. But I'm not really gonna complain about anything. I was just happy that I got to where I was.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, but it still kind of sucks, man, that you get to your dream job basically, and then you got to put up with a lot of bullshit. I mean.
Well, what sucked about it was the fact of when you came from OVW. I mean, shit, man, that felt like, family. That still feels like family to me. Like It still holds a very special place in my heart, like Louisville and the people I worked with, the fans. Like when I think of that time in my life, it was phenomenal. And Danny and Julie were like freaking like a second mom and dad to me. Rip was a fucking crazy motherfucking uncle. But no, I mean, and Jimmy like taught me so much as for being a tag team partner, as far as, because he knows a lot of his shit when it comes to all the tag team shit and psychology. And I was just so grateful to have that positive experience that when I got up to the WWE and I saw kind of how it could be a little cancerous, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I just want to like, I just want to be a part. I'm just trying to learn more from the guys that are up there now, how I can keep trying to elevate my game as best as possible, and just learn more and more. But obviously some of them weren't having that shit. And and I understand, like I can understand your spot being, being threatened or whatever it is. But guys, I'm a fucking 5'6" dude. I'm fucking, as wide as I am tall, but fucking, I don't think I'm taking your spot, fucking JBL or fucking some of the other guys that are fucking.
We have you listed as 5'8", man. So.
Oh shit! I meant 5'8". I meant 5'8". It's 5'9".
Yeah, we that's what we put on the stat sheet before we
5'8",
went live
5'9".
tonight.
It just depends on the size, the lifts in my boots, really, honestly.
One of Rip's sons on here put that Tank Dick was his nickname in high school.
Really?
So yeah, that would have been gimmick infringement right there.
What's funny is I actually when I was wrestling as the Dicks, one of the guys that worked at one of the arenas came up to me. He's like, "I'm your biggest fan." I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm freaking James Dick. And he's like, "No, really, I am. I swear." And he said, Look at his name tag. It said James Dick. That was his shoot name.
Oh my god!
I was like, awesome. So I was like, all right, I got one fan at least.
Hey, I liked you guys. Every time they gave people gimmicks like that, like Nova, I thought Nova's stuff was hilarious. I mean, I thought you guys. Yeah. I liked it. Whatever it is, what it is. People always gonna shit on stuff. Somebody else wanted to know, and they're a nice paid member here. Wants to know if maybe we think or you think, I don't know, maybe you know this or not. If a guy like John Cena was ribbed when he would go up in the beginning? I mean, he damn near got fired. Surely he got ribbed a little bit in the beginning, I would think.
I think a lot of the guys that go up there, at one point are going to get ribbed in some way. I mean, unless you're maybe someone like Randy Orton that came from lineage, and you have, that bloodline in you. Maybe they didn't fuck with you because they had respect for your father or your grandfather or whoever came before you. Maybe they laid off you a little bit. But I think anyone that goes up there at some point, you're probably going to catch a little something just to see how they want to see how you react to things. Yeah. But I was fully expecting that. I mean, shit. When I was in OVW when I first got down there, Bradshaw was down there with he was down with Ron Simmons.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were doing some shows. I guess and I remember I rode back in the back of the ring truck. And one of the nights back from I think it was probably somewhere in Indiana, and it was a pretty chilly night. It was a spring night, but it was a pretty cold night to be riding in the back of the ring truck. And I remember they're just in the back and they're just throwing gallons of water in the back and just drenching us while they were back there riding in the back. And I was like, well, welcome to fucking OVW. Yeah. Welcome to working your way to the big leagues. It's just the fucking way it is. You can go to any sport, they're gonna shit in your boots or fucking piss in your fucking jug, whatever it is. They're gonna that's just the way it was.
Remember some spot show, I think we were somewhere in Kentucky, was a dry county, and I think they made 7 go try to find a liquor store like in another county somewhere, and I can't remember if he either almost missed his match or came back late. And then they were mad that he was late.
Oh yeah,
now you're late for
no matter what, you're fucked.
But they made him go try to find.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like, well, fuck. I don't know. I had to go find the fucking liquor store.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm gonna try to pull this thing up here real quick. We got another show actually here in just a holy shit little bit. Let me see here. Tell me if you can ever see this thing.
Drum roll.
Jesus, I see me already. Jesus, look at this. Oh, that's Matt right there.
Are you giving Matt Morgan head? It looks like.
I was spitting. I just finished him off. Oh, there's Von Lilas. I see him.
Oh yeah.
All the top stars.
Oh yeah, there's John. There's Heartthrob.
Ouch.
Watch how stiff Tank is with me here in a little bit.
Oh, my boy Cap. Oh, my boy Capitelli. Oh, I'll stiff if I have to. Who's that one Jack dude? Jesus, with the mask on. Not Matt Morgan. The other
Seven.
guy. That guy. Oh, is that Seven?
Yeah.
He actually looks in shape. Holy shit. It's
That's
black.
the king.
It's slimming.
Hey, don't worry. I got 7 taken care of for you, man.
Oh, there you go. All right. Look like Aaron Stevens out there too.
Now watch Tank.
Oh,
there we
Stiff.
go.
Oh, you prick.
Stiff.
Oh,
He kicks me in the head like 5
oh.
times.
You know, it looks stiff as shit, but it was as smooth as Lance Storm. Oh shit. You know what? I used to actually do because it was just a fucking rib on Chris Masters. I used to give him shoot spears. I used to
Give me the big deal.
Holy shit.
Oh, I used to be in shape. Holy shit.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Stiff.
you ain't gonna sell it anyway.
Concussion.
Hey, let me ask you, was I actually stiff? Do you
I
remember?
don't know. I have no idea. I don't.
I wonder if I was.
I doubt it.
Look at that.
I never even wrestled before, hardly. So, I mean, this was just, I was a teacher. Oh,
You
stiff.
did great though, man. You did. I mean, shit. You were good.
I don't know about this
Yeah,
here. But
I'm trying to get you out. Wait a second. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's.
I think you missed me
your
there,
hometown? I probably did.
oh,
I
you
didn't
got
miss
me
you
back
there.
there,
I
though.
didn't miss you. I made up for it.
Call the
it's funny.
police. Go to arrest me of attempted murder.
It's funny, man. It's like God. You know,
Uh-oh.
I'm sure, Rip. You know, like you don't even remember.
Uh-oh.
Hometown hero gets the win.
No, Idol
Yeah,
comes in
there
and
you go.
throws me out, actually.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah. He just sat outside the whole time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. That's great.
Here comes the Idol. I think it's set up a match for later or something.
Okay. Idol. I love Idol.
What a rib.
Yeah.
I love Idol though, man. He's funny,
Yeah.
man. He's funny, man.
Thank
I
you.
miss all you guys out there though, man. I definitely do.
I can't get this thing out of here now. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. All
Hey,
right.
when you get signed, you don't know when you're gonna be born, and you don't know when you're gonna die.
Yep.
So you appreciate every day, every minute, every fucking hour, because you know the rest of your life you're gonna remember all this shit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll never forget the day I got the call from Dr. Tom, and he said, "How would you like a WWE contract? Like, how would you like to be a developmental contract?" And I was like, oh, I remember how psyched I was. And at the time, it was funny. It was bittersweet though, because at the time I was dating Jillian,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember she didn't get the call, and I remember it was the same day that Cage got the call, and you know, so him and I think it was either Mark Magnus or Johnny Jeter, we like 3 of us got the call the same day and got signed, and I remember she didn't, and I just remember it was so bittersweet because we were dating. I felt like I wanted to celebrate, but I couldn't. So
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't even ask you about getting signed. We kind of skipped ahead there. But
that's all right.
hey, man, listen, so glad you came on. Maybe we could do this again sometime. We do have to cut you off, though, because we're
That's
actually who does our intro music, Starcade, baby, the big band Starcade. Might as well plug them here real quick. We're coming back in like 8 minutes, Rip.
8 minutes.
Starcade's got a new video out featuring Tully Blanchard, all Tully Blanchard highlights. So if you're in this chat right now, we're going to leave here in a couple minutes. I'm going to give Tank the floor again here in a second. Leave in a couple minutes. We're coming back live again with Starcade, baby. Tank, you kind of told us in the beginning what you're doing now. Give us anything to plug, anything you got going on. You got some apparel things, websites, links, Twitter. What do you got, man?
Yeah, man. I do a lot of apparel for, you know, all different businesses, you know, schools, restaurants, workers. It's Apex Custom.
Could have made our
Apparel.
shirts for us, probably.
Yeah.
No.
ApexCustomApparel.com. You know, if you want to get a quote from me, you know, I do all my own shit, and it's pretty good stuff. So, but other than that, man, just doing some appearances throughout the year, working some more shows, but nothing specific as of right now, and just trying to stay in shape and not get too old too quick. You know,
got the guns. Look at him, man.
Still.
Look at that. He's
Yeah,
still the Tank, baby.
Yeah, he got the size 2 T-shirt on to accentuate those big.
Hey,
accentuate those.
That's
big
why he got
guns.
into apparel to make his own shirts. So
That's
he could get
right.
The tight arms on there, the tight
Well, as
sleeves.
long as Gap Kids is making shit, I'm buying it.
Yeah, kids, that's awesome.
Thank you so much for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for the both of you. Rip, thank you for everything you've done for me in the business. You are a fucking legend, and I love you, man.
Well, thanks for being on here, Tank. This is the hour just flew by.
It sure did.
And I was just sitting here like a little kid, fucking trying to relive the faces, the fucking names, all this shit that was going on. Because I'm out there. Fuck, I'm a fucking nutcase. Just like anybody in the wrestling business is a total nutcase, which is awesome.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't know if they are anymore, but they used to be. Anyway.
I think it takes a little bit of that to make it in the business. I think you got to be a little fucking crazy. So But no, thank you for everything, guys.
We got to get the head bob in too. So you got to hang on with us here. We got to get the ending, the big finish. There we go.
There it is.
Head bob in at the end. Tank's got the guns. He's still the Tank. Look at those. The lifeguard.
He's
the
over.
School teacher, the apparel, the tag team champ.
The
everything.
The penis maximus. Hell yeah. Length, width, vascularity, muscularity. It don't get any better than this, baby.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I'm a dick. Big, hard, and vascular.
He's a big dick.
He's a big dick. Tank dick.
Live the dream, baby.